the big three, Bronx Science, Stuyvesant, and Brooklyn Tech, those are legacy schools. When I say legacy schools, it's not that, oh, my father went to Stuyvesant, therefore I will go to Stuyvesant, and my child will go to Stuyvesant. No, it's not like that. What I mean is that they've been around for a long time. They are recognized names. You have to earn your way in, and you have to earn your way out. The great thing about that is that these schools, they have a really strong alumni network. That connection is really, really strong. This is like the Ivy League, basically, for the rest of us.
Okay. Being in this community, we are locked. We are limited. We cannot do nothing about it. We try to do the best that we can with the test for the specialized high school because that's the only chance that we may have to move on and go into the good school.
Listen, if I had a choice, I would restructure the whole system. The school not necessarily has to be the best performance school. It has to be the best school for your child and the best school for his needs. We don't have this option here. We just have bad schools and we have good schools. And good schools are so limited.
So you have too few good schools in New York City. At the same time, you have a huge segregation. Back in the 60s and certainly into the 70s, the issue was the number of white students versus the number of black and Hispanic students who were in specialized schools. That debate has been transformed by the fact that the Asian population in New York City has expanded exponentially. It was an important issue when I was a student 50 years ago. It's still an important issue today. The question becomes, what's the nature of that problem? What's the solution?
Good morning. I've been asked by the director-producer to come by and talk about the movie. Unfortunately, my speech got cut. So what I'm going to do is just talk about some of the data that we used in the movie to give you an idea what's going on. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'm in control. Okay. Essentially, I was the senior consultant on the movie, and my job was I was responsible for the data, statistics, and the New York City high school admission process, and make sure it was properly defined in the movie. And if you were to Google my name and the New York City high school, you would get all that information on me. So you will find out there was a reason why I was chosen for this project. Don't worry, I didn't get paid for this. Now, this is the issue here. This is in the movie. It talks about the feeder schools. Roughly 50% of all the offers come from 5% of the junior high schools. This is what the issue is. This is what people are talking about. 85% of the offer come from 15% of the junior high schools. Next. The farm team. These are the top 10 junior high schools in New York City that feed the specialized. One at the very top is in my neighborhood, Crystal McAuliffe, District 20. 2014, they sent 224 kids to the specialized school. This is 224 kids out of 300. Next school, number 2, Mark Twain. Everybody knows about Mark Twain, been around almost 40 years. District 3, Booker T. Washington. Oh yeah, over here, these are the school districts. Booker T. Washington is number 3, and then Dyker. Again, in my school district, District 20. If you look at Dyker here, you have what, 120-something and 224? My school district, with this two junior high schools, sent 350 kids into these specialized schools. You got Madam Curie, Cunningham, District 22, Lab, District 2, Manhattan, Bay Academy, 21. You have 100-something, and Mark Twain combined. You have almost 300 kids coming from 2 schools in District 21. Nest, District 1, George Ryan, Queens. So this is what is detailed in the movie. Now, DOE, don't ask me where I got the data from. This is a 4-year. We looked at the top 10 junior high that feed Stuyvesant, and 10 junior high school is almost 40% of Stuyvesant. And this is true for all 4 years. School district that feeds Stuyvesant. If you look over here, 10 school district send nobody to Stuyvesant. These are the districts that send kids to Stuyvesant. Now, let's talk about who do not send kids to Stuyvesant. Most of the Bronx do not send any kids to Stuyvesant. Central Brooklyn, 14, 32, 16, 23, 19, they're all there. And then there's one piece in Queens here, 29. I believe that's Jamaica area. Maybe little kids, District 4, 5, and 6. Now, if you want to send kids from this area into Stuyvesant from these districts, you got to take it from here. Something we call ZeroSum Game. By zip code, hundreds of zip codes in New York City. These are the top 10. Number 1 on the list, Upper West Side, 10025. That's bound to be Booker T. Washington. The red one are all in Brooklyn, down in South Brooklyn, my area. Bensonhurst, Mapleton, Borough Park, and Dyker Heights. And then you got Queens, Oakland Garden, Elmhurst, and Fresh Meadows. These are your FELA zip codes. The movie talks about Title I, poor kids. 2004, Asian was 45% Brooklyn Tech. 7 years later, it jumped up to 60. At the same time, Title I in 2004 was 19%. Jumped up to, I can't read it, 51% 7 years later. So as the increase of Asian moved up in Brooklyn Tech, so did the poverty level. Now, the data is on a New York State report, so you can look it up yourself. These kids, immigrant kids, if not immigrant, they're going to be children of recent immigrants. This is the home language survey. This is what they speak at home. Chinese, number 1, 32%. Followed by Bengali. Hello, Ivan. Okay. Followed, then Russian, and then Korean and Spanish, Thai at 4.2. This data came from Sean Cochran with the NYU report. How do we fix the problem? Okay, this is my suggestion, if you don't mind. 2 minutes. First problem. Your first problem is the Bronx. You got 13,000 kids in the Bronx, but only 4,500, 4,600 taking the exam. Why is that? And I don't have an answer, but for me, this is all about data. I'm just looking at the data. With Brooklyn, it's almost 50% of the kids taking the exam. And Queens is pretty close to that too. Next, you got a problem in Queens. What's the problem in Queens? Bronx science. 60% of Bronx science come from Queens. 28% of Brooklyn Tech come from Queens. 40% of Stuyvesant come from Queens. Why is that? Anybody know? Well, I looked into it. Queens has a severe shortage of high school seats. They have to go somewhere. Someone has to go somewhere. And right now, the best kids are leaving Queens to go to the special ed schools. I looked at 5 of the 7 school districts, and Queens is short almost 7,700 seats as of 2 years ago. So this is why 1,900 kids are leaving Queens to go to the special ed schools. Now, who gets hurt by this? The Bronx. Very little kid taking the exam, very few are getting in. Okay? Hi, Laura. This is Laura Zimmerman from Inside School, and this is the Center, what's it called? Center, New School.
Center of New York City Affairs at Milano Graduate School.
They came out with a report in June, very good report. It listed all 467 junior high school. In addition, it has the race of every kid by percentage in there. It tells you who made it in, by what race, and who didn't make it in. The most important piece here is the black line down the middle. that means these are kids who are high performing. The high performing kids are the ones getting into the specialized. That's the bottom line here. I can't read that. Can somebody read that for me?
Unfortunately, we're going to have to ask that you look at the report yourselves. It's
Okay.
a wonderful, wonderful read.
Well, this is the other problem. There was a list of all the schools that sent nobody to the specialized schools, okay? Because they have no high-performing kids. And this is the other problem. Last piece. Now, we talked about schools that have no high-performing kids. What about whole districts that have no high-performing kids? This is very telling. Now, one thing we should talk about and look at is the New York State test scores, ALA and math. Because the incoming kid for Stuyvesant, 4.14, 3.99 for the ALA. If you're not getting that, chances are you're not going to be getting into a school like Stuyvesant. And this is what one of the issues are. Okay, anything else? Feel free to email me. Thank you.